Hello everybody, thanks for clicking on this episode. If you're new here, I'm Dave and this is Sailing Madness. As you've just seen, just left Dunstafnage Marina on the west coast of Scotland, heading south right now. I've got Oban on my port side, but I'm going to be bypassing Oban in this episode. Went to Oban in the last episode, so click back and look at that if you want to see what Oban's like. But I'm going to be carrying on, heading south, because there's some anchorages that I want to go to just south of Oban. Going to be away for 2 nights, got 2 anchorages to go to, so looking forward to trying somewhere new. I'm on my own, Robin isn't with me this time, so it's just me. So let's see how I get on going to a couple of anchorages that I've never been to before. Not pretty good for sailing at the moment. It's pretty mild, it's nice and flat, it's calm. We've got about 8 knots of breeze. I've got the mainsail out and just motor sailing along, just doing it at 1500 RPM, and we're doing about 4.5 knots through the water, which is fast enough. Could go faster, but don't see the point. Might just ease the revs down a little bit and let the wind push us a little bit more than the engine. But for now, happy to be out, got me coffee, so I'm just going to enjoy the scenery. One thing I forgot to do was to bring the fenders in. Oh! Okay, so let me just show you on the map then where we are and where we are heading. Here's the UK. That red triangle is where we are right now. So if I zoom in, this is Oban here, and we're going to come down past the island of Kiera, and we're going to go to this little anchorage in here. Okay. Apparently once we get here there is a little walk we can go on and go through some trees, and we end up at a nice pub somewhere. So this anchorage is called now, how you can you see that on the screen? Now how you pronounce that, I think, is Puilladodhrain. So this is it here, Puilladodhrain, Paul. So that's where we're going to be going and heading for tonight. Right, I've been going about half an hour, there's still no more wind out. 7 knots of breeze, but it's typically right on the nose. Just going past Oban now, and Kiera is just ahead of us, so we're just going to zip round the outside of Kiera and then zip into the anchorage. Doing about 5 knots through the water, 1500 RPM. So I can see a ferry coming through now. He's over there, he's going to be coming this way into Oban, so I should think by the time he gets to me he'll go behind me, because the entrance to Oban is just there. So I think there's plenty of room for him to get behind me, plenty of time for me to get ahead of him. But still lots of boats out, and I can see why. Lovely Friday morning in Scotland in August. How long before this gets annoying? Right, now there's only about 8 knots of breeze. We're heading straight into it. It's right on the nose. The sail's flogging, so it's going away. Got a little Royal Navy patrol vessel just over here. Love seeing the Royal Navy. One day I want to see a submarine and an aircraft carrier. Right, so I've been going about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Still got about an hour and a half to go before I get to the first anchorage. But the sun's gone in. They did promise us sunshine today, but as you can see, it's all gone a little bit misty. You just about see Mul over there behind me. In that gap further round, that's the Sound of Mul. If I spin you around over this way, that's Kiera over there. And where we are going is kind of up there. Looking forward to getting to the anchorage. It's going to be a bit challenging. It's very narrow, and it's quite deep in the middle, but there's lots of rocks to avoid, and so it's going to be quite challenging on my own. Perhaps this is the anchorage I should have done when I've got someone with me, but you've got to try these things, haven't you? Well, I don't think it's going to rain, that's the main thing. What is heading towards us is down there at the moment. Is that rain, do you think? I don't think so. I think it's just mist. Hopefully the sun will come through later on this afternoon. But still having a nice little motor. Well, it was a motor sail, it's a motor now. Wind is still on the nose, but still having a good time. Right, so one thing I've noticed is that my speed through the water is showing 0. So clearly the paddle wheel isn't working, so that means when I get to the anchorage I'm going to have to make a hole in the bottom of my boat. Right, so now we've just got to the bottom of Kiera and turned the corner. That's the bottom of the island there behind me. We've got a bit of wind, so let's get the sails back out. God, I feel so rusty. When you haven't sailed for a couple of weeks, you do kind of lose your touch. Well, it's nice to finally be sailing. All right, we're not going that fast. Oh, it's nice. Engine's off. Doing about 3 knots. About 10 knots of breeze, if that. Yeah, that's all right for now, isn't it? Right, I don't know if you watched the episode about a month ago where Robin and I were coming from Tobermory back down to Oban in the Sound of Mul, and we were in an unofficial race with another boat. Well, you know the saying, when 2 sailing boats are going in the same direction, it's always a race. And there's a boat over here now. I've been racing him for 5 or 10 minutes and I'm already passing him. We've got 14 knots of breeze, we're doing 5.5 knots through the water. So I think I've got the sails trimmed nicely, but it looks like we're both heading for the same anchorage. So this race is even more important than the race a couple of weeks ago down the Sound of Mul, because it's a very tight anchorage. There's only room for about half a dozen boats. I've already seen one boat a long way ahead of us going in, so I want to get there before this boat over here, just in case it's a bit tight in there with boats. But this is the guy. He's got 3 sails and we're going faster than him. Let me just spin you around. Can you see him over there? The race is on for what could be the last spot in the anchorage. Right, I'm well ahead of him now.
This is the passenger ferry out of Lewis. For routine navigation information, please listen on channel 12.
I don't know why, but whenever I turn the camera on to do a vlog, someone always comes on the radio. It's as if they know. But as I was saying, well ahead of him now. So we're still about a mile before the kind of entrance to the anchorage. So we're going to start thinking about getting the engine back on and bringing the sails in. Don't want to do it too soon because it might catch up. Right, sails are away, engine's on. We're just coming into the anchorage now. It is narrow. There's already a few boats here. Having a look on AIS, there's only 2 with AIS on. But that doesn't mean anything, so hopefully there's only 2 in there, we'll be lucky. I think you're going to get about 6 in. But the one we were racing, he's about a mile behind us now. Eat my waves. Right, well I have arrived. The anchor is down, the engine is off, the snubber is on, and it's very peaceful. Now I'm told you can put your dinghy ashore over here somewhere, take a little walk over that hill there, and there's a pub the other side of the hill. And I've looked online and they serve Guinness. So where do you think I'm going to go later on? I won't be staying on here, that's for sure. Right, well I've been here a couple of hours and I've had a nice afternoon. I've had some tea and I've been watching the cricket. Now what a better place to watch the cricket. It's England against Sri Lanka, and England are doing rather well, which is pretty cool. The sun is kind of a little bit lower in the sky now. Just have a little look outside just have a look, you know where we are, but just have a look outside and see that. It's getting on for about 5:30 in the evening now, so I think what the plan will be is I'll get the dinghy in the water in a minute, and I think I might head to shore, go and get a pint of Guinness. I think when I get the dinghy out later I might take a little ride down there to take a look at that. Right, so the dinghy's in the water, the outboard is on, I've got my wellies on. I think it's time to go ashore for a pint of Guinness, but first of all I'm going to go down there and look at that tall ship. I'm going to be nosy. Do you know, I know I've said this before, but you can't beat an electric outboard. They really are the way forward. And my old Torpedo is for sale. If you are in the Scotland area or Conwy area and you want to buy my old Torpedo, give us a shout. On all the charts and information, it did say that this is a popular anchorage, and I just counted 12 boats in here. I think the Andreas chart said there's room for 6. Change my shoes, then go and find the pub. Right, I think the dinghy's going to be okay there. The tide is going out, so I think by the time I get back from the pub I'm going to have to drag it a long way. We'll see. But it's worth it for a pint, isn't it? Is it? Right, now the next challenge is to find the footpath. And of course if Robin was here, this is what we'd be calling trekking with Dave. I don't mind this sort of trek, because at least I know there's a pint of Guinness waiting for me at the end of it. Right, I need to concentrate where I'm walking. I have to put the camera down. Otherwise I'm going to go knee deep into a puddle. This really is trekking with Dave. That was a steep hill. This really is trekking with Dave. If I didn't know that there was a pub at the end of it, I'd have turned around and gone back to the boat by now. Alright, let's get through this gate. That to me looks like the back end of a pub. Hey! And I found a proper path as well. Right, so the pub is there. Now before we go in, there's just something I want to see. And this is a thing called the bridge over the Atlantic. Now I always thought the Atlantic was a little bit wider than this, but there we go, that's the bridge over the Atlantic. Well, it's very steep. Right, well there you go. I always wanted to cross the Atlantic, but I always thought I'd do it on a boat, not on a bridge. That's a stunning place. Right, it's definitely Guinness o'clock now. After that mammoth trek with Dave.
You sat there, mate.
I was, yeah, sorry.
Sorts empty, I just fixed it.
Oh, yeah, that's alright.
Suppose I'm
I won't fit in there. Right, I'm heading back to the boat. Been a bit of a naughty boy actually. Had 3 pints of Guinness. I was only going to have 1. And then I decided to eat in the pub. Now I had decided when I started this trip to save a bit of money, I would eat on the boat every night. I've got plenty of food on the boat. But when I saw everybody else eating and the smell of the food, I gave in. And one of the reasons why I gave in was for chips, because I can't cook chips on the boat. So I've had a burger and chips. Right, this first bit is the uphill bit. So with a full belly and 3 pints of Guinness, let's see how I get on getting back to the dinghy. This could be very messy. Well, I made it back to the dinghy with a little bit of help from my friends over there. Just bumped into them on the path on the way back to the boat. They got this lovely motor cruiser over here, and now I'm heading out back to the boat through the anchorage. Oh, what a beautiful spot. Look at the sky. The water is so glassy, just beautiful. Right, well I'm back on the boat. Just look at this place. I mean, I know it's perfect because there's no wind, but it's just beautiful. What more can you want? A stunning anchorage, a bit of trekking with Dave, and a pub that serves Guinness, and nice food. Even though I wasn't supposed to have been trying the nice food, but hey ho. But you can see why this place is popular. There's 12 boats here. And I think I mentioned this before, but on the trace charts I think it says there's room for 6. But in these conditions I think you could probably find another, you could probably add another half a dozen boats and it still wouldn't be a problem. It would be interesting though if the winds picked up overnight and everyone's anchor started dragging. That would be a bit of a problem, but that's not on the forecast, so I think we're okay for tonight. It's just beautiful. And that just about does it for today. Thanks for sticking with us until the end. Remember, if you've enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, put them in the box below. We really do enjoy reading all your feedback to our videos. The more likes, subscriptions and comments this episode receives, the more likely YouTube is to recommend us to people who may not have found us yet. So you can really help the channel grow by hitting the thumb, subscription and comment buttons. Finally, if you'd like to support us financially, why not become a patron? For a small monthly fee of just £6 a month, you can support the making of future videos. We're not asking you to fund our lifestyle, unlike some sailing channels. We're just asking for a contribution towards the cost of producing these videos. All patrons get early, ad-free access to all episodes, exclusive behind-the-scenes video content, and membership to a private WhatsApp group where you can keep in contact with us. To find out more about becoming a patron, please click the link in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.